Today, it's the cocktails of Casablanca. Many argue that Casablanca is the greatest movie of all time, and that opinion could be argued for or against, but I think it's just a fact that Casablanca is the greatest bar movie of all time. Now, more than half, probably more than 60, maybe even 70% of the movie takes place in Rick's Café Américain. While there are a couple of cocktails featured in the film, the drinks and the bottles those drinks come in provide a bit of symbolism as well. So we will unpack all of that as we cover the cocktails and the drinks of Casablanca. Oh, and there will be spoilers ahead. The story of Casablanca takes place in December of 1941, before Pearl Harbor, when the United States was not officially involved in the war. The way that the studios could crank out movies was very different from how it is today. Filming began in May of 1942, and the movie premiered at the Hollywood Theater in New York on November 26 of 1942, just 6 months after the production started. Now, Casablanca takes place in Casablanca, Morocco. And from 1912 to 1956, Casablanca, as well as all of Morocco, was a French protectorate. But at this time in 1941, this is not the France that we typically think of. In June of 1940, German forces entered France, and by the end of the month, France surrendered, bringing an end to the Battle of France. But Germany did not take full control of France and its provinces or its protectorates. Instead, a new authoritarian government was set up to control specific regions of France, as well as those colonies and protectorates. This was the Vichy government, and their independence was a bit of a ruse. They were under German command, and it's this Vichy government that would oversee Casablanca. The majority of the film takes place at Rick's Café Américain, a place to grab a drink, to gamble, and to try to figure out a way to smuggle yourself out of this authoritarian rule and into a free country. Now, many of the patrons were well off enough to make their way to Casablanca from Europe, and the characters run the gamut from the idealist, the seedy, the opportunist, and the disillusioned. Rick Blaine is neutral, and he'll stick his neck out for nobody. He's the anti-hero, and his conflict is the journey of the film. The first drinks that we see are not mentioned, but small glasses and champagne coupes. The most prominent drinking of the movie comes from these bottles of Brandy, cognac, with no discernible name, and it is most likely, if not assuredly, not a real brand of cognac, but a label made by the props department. But I think they may have been made to at least resemble the bottle shape that you find on many prominent cognac bottles of the time. Now, through the film, we also see the labels slightly askew, usually never straight on to the camera. Now, that's intentional. For one, it would be a little bit unusual to have a label showing straight to camera, unless that brand was paying for it, of course, and we've grown accustomed to that nowadays. And there's a bit of symbolism to this as well, something we'll have to come back to at the very end of the film when we get a clear view of one of these labeled bottles. Now, the first bottle that's ordered
champagne and a tin of caviar
from German Major Heinrich Strasser, and upon the recommendation of Captain Renault,
may I recommend Veuve Clicquot, 26, a good French wine?
Thank you.
Very well, sir.
Now, moments later, our first drinks are ordered by Victor Laszlo, the hero that is principled and incorruptible. And he orders
2 Cointreaus, please.
Monsieur.
But before they're able to enjoy some room temperature orange liqueur, Renault inserts himself again.
Oh, no, Emile, please, a bottle of your best champagne and put it on my bill.
Very well, sir.
Captain, please.
Oh, please, monsieur, it is a little game we play. They put it on the bill, I tear up the bill. It is very convenient.
The next cocktail to be ordered is from Victor Laszlo.
Champagne cocktail, please.
The oldest reference to the champagne cocktail is from Panama in 1855, and just a few years later, Jerry Thomas shares the recipe in his bartender's guide. To make one, simply add a sugar cube to a champagne glass and then 3 dashes of Angostura bitters. Now fill this with champagne. Champagne flutes were available at this time, but champagne coupes were far more prominent for these drinks as well as champagne alone. Cheers. Champagne cocktail is sweet and refreshing, and it gets a majority of the flavor there from the Angostura bitters. This is just one of those drinks that you will want more than one of. Next, we see the first meeting of all four of our main characters, where more champagne is poured. We also see the journey of Rick start to unfold, a man who started as stiff and disillusioned with plenty of rules, and now he's breaking those rules, at least one of them, drinking with his guests. And now a flashback to Rick and Isla's romantic encounters in Paris before the arrival of the Germans, and we get more champagne, but this time we know what it is. It's G.H. Mumm's Cordon Rouge, which you can still find today. This flashback is no fun for Rick.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
So he's drowning in his sorrows. The bourbon we find Rick drinking is Kentucky Hill, a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, bottled at 93 proof. But this is not a real bottle, it's a prop. Created by Earl's Hayes Press, which started as a prop shop in 1915. And this prop label would be used in other movies as well that span decades, like Mildred Pierce, Blazing Saddles, and apparently Back to the Future. The next drinks that we see ordered are by Rick's scorned lover and her new Nazi boyfriend. The irony is that they both ordered
French 75.
Put up a whole row of those, SLUSHi. Starting here and ending here.
French 75 was a Prohibition-era cocktail named after a French cannon from World War I. And the drink and name became popular in America, and it reached even more popularity through its publication in the Savoy Cocktail Book. We'll make a slightly modified version of that one that we're going to serve on ice. I'm using half an ounce of a simple syrup, 1 ounce of lemon juice, and 1.5 ounces of gin. We're going to shake this and then add it to a tall glass with ice. And finally top with some champagne. Cheers. It's a grown-up Tom Collins, and it is extremely refreshing with a lot of brightness there from the lemon juice and the gin, and then obviously the champagne to top it off. So if you like a Tom Collins and you've never had one with champagne, you should try it. You'll often find recipes for these served up with no ice, but ice was also common at the time. As our story progresses, the tolerance of Rick for the oppressors starts to wane. Victor orders 2 more cognacs, and that's pretty much it for the drinks. But back to the bottles. Throughout the entire movie, we see bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles, and none of them made out too clearly. Prop bottles of a no-name cognac or a fake bourbon from Kentucky. But that bottle of brandy is not the most important of them all, nor is the bourbon or the champagne, but a bottle of water will be the capstone of the drinks consumed in Casablanca. You see, at this point, Rick has almost completed his hero's journey. He is no longer the bitter, disillusioned man that we met at the start of the film, but now he is not only doing the right thing, but the bold and dangerous things as well, sacrificing himself as well as love for a greater cause. As Rick sends Laszlo and Isla on a plane to Lisbon, he and Captain Renault are confronted by German Major Strassler, where Rick pulls the trigger, ensuring that Laszlo and Isla can take off and escape from Casablanca. We're left with one more act of courage. Our self-serving opportunist, Captain Renault, does not turn Rick in. Instead, he saves him.
Round up the usual suspects.
And finally, we see a label head-on, close-up, and extremely identifiable. It's a bottle of Vichy water.
Well, Rick, you're not only a sentimentalist, but you've become a patriot.
Maybe, but it seemed like a good time to start.
I think perhaps you're right.
And when that label is recognized by our characters, it is thrown away. And not for no reason, but it's symbolic. Rick and Renault have chosen sides. No more neutrality, no more Vichy. No big speech about how or why, but simply action. And they walk off into the distance, starting a beautiful friendship. Casablanca is one of the greatest movies of all time, and a timeless one at that, just as appropriate now as it has ever been. Never too late to do the right thing, to stand up to fascism and authoritarianism, even when it comes at a great cost. Rick could have had the girl, but he chose righteousness and the greater good instead. So a cheers to one of the greatest movies of all time. Thanks for watching this journey into the cocktails and the drinks. Casablanca.